Well, all right there. Welcome back to another episode of Peyton 3.0's EDM World News. Today is going to be a very quick one. Lots to do. Today's episode has to deal with Bro Safari, the headline story, thanks to EDM.com. Shout out. Bro Safari is opening up about his substance abuse and how he's gotten much better. Good for you, Bro Safari. Let's get into it. This is Peyton 3.0's EDM World News. Take it away. All right. Ooh. Hello. How are you today? Welcome back in. Well, let's get right into it. And of course, if you like this today, you know what to do. Hit that like button, baby. All right, so give me a moment. So Bro Safari opens up about substance abuse, return to music, okay? And he says, I am in a much better place now. So in a candid letter to his fans, Bro Safari revealed he entered therapy after experiencing mental health issues from touring, okay? Unfortunately, kind of like Avicii, only he's still here, you know? In the midst of an indefinite hiatus, Bro Safari has announced plans to return to the music industry. The renowned Moombahton and bass music producer wrote a heartfelt open letter to his fans detailing his struggle with substance abuse during life on the road. In the candid statement, Bro Safari says he entered therapy after experiencing burnout and mental health issues stemming from a grueling tour schedule. Yep. See, like I keep saying before in my other videos, for those of you who are my hardcore Zombatron fans, that just because you think the artist has a way better life and it looks fun and all you're seeing is the finished product, a lot of times that is not the case, especially not in this music industry. This music industry is crazy. It'll drive you up the wall. And the truth is, you may not even be making a penny and you might be ending up bankrupt. Okay? Anyway, titled Where I've Been and Where I'm Going, Bro Safari's letter offers deeply personal reflections as well as an update on his musical endeavors. He has a litany of solo and collaborative projects in the works, including a hip-hop feature with Armani Rain. Longtime fans will be ecstatic to hear that he'll be reuniting with UFO, the most frequent collaborator and a fan favorite among the Bro Safari faithful. According to Bro Safari, they have written a ton of music over the last few years and have plans to release an EP in the near future. Okay? Yes. You can read Bro Safari's full letter here at EDM.com. Okay? Yeah, so actually, let me just read the letter for you. Let me read it for you. I haven't been silent. because I don't have anything to say. I've been silent because I don't know how to say it. Nevertheless, here are some thoughts. Just before COVID hit, I decided that I needed a break from the Bro Safari project. I was experiencing a major case of burnout. I wasn't working on music, and I had been touring so much that it was impacting my physical and mental health in a pretty severe way. Once the lockdowns happened, I retreated into an even deeper hole. I isolated to the point where I alienated myself from the world. That included peers, fans, followers, and even some close friends. This wasn't intentional. After a while, I found myself unsure of how to even move forward. I entered therapy. Therapy did a lot for me mentally. I was able to rid myself of a lot of guilt that I had been harboring for many reasons over the years during my time touring as Bro Safari. I had turned to alcohol and substances to cope. It was dumb, and I regret every second of that lifestyle. It was an absolute waste of my talent, time, health, and energy. A lot of people say no regrets, but that isn't me. I regret it. That doesn't mean that I didn't learn from it, though. I can safely say that I will never go down that path again. Before I move on, I want to say that I am in a much better place now. I'm happy with where my life is, and I'm not looking for any sympathy here. This is simply an act of transparency. During the lockdowns up to this day, I've been actively working on music. I learned how to play the piano, and I reignited my passion for live music. I grew up playing in bands, so picking up my guitar again has brought me a lot of joy. Having said that, I spent roughly 0 hours working on anything that resembles trap, Moombahton, dubstep, or anything under the EDM/Bro Safari umbrella. It isn't that I don't enjoy bass music, but I simply haven't wanted to make it. I'm not sure that I will ever again. That is what has been so hard to say to you all. You handed me this incredible platform and following, and I felt like I'd be betraying that by moving away from what I made me popular in the first place. I am now 43 years old. At this age, I've come to notice that life moves in chapters. I had my chapter as a youth, playing in punk bands in Atlanta. The next chapter was my drum and bass project, Evil Intent. Then I flailed for a few years and did various projects like Minus Music and Ludacris. Then came Bro Safari, which was my most successful project. I had no idea that it would become so well received. So much that when it did, I had a severe case of imposter syndrome. You may not have noticed it from the crowd, but I was unbelievably nervous throughout the entire Bro Safari life cycle. I often had no confidence in the music that I was making, and I spent a lot of time doubting myself. Don't get me wrong, I had a blast doing it for the most part, but I always had this nagging feeling like I didn't deserve it, or it should have been someone else up there. Therapy helped me to work through some of those feelings, but if I were to start making that type of music again, I fear that it would return. Why? Because I know that in my soul, it's time to move on to a new chapter. So what does that mean? Am I done with this project entirely? The answer is yes. In its former form, I won't be returning to that. But I'm also scared to close the door on the project as a whole. I think that the best thing I could do now is be honest about this stuff with everyone instead of internalizing everything and ignoring the world. In a perfect scenario, I launch some new projects and then maybe return to Bro Safari with a new perspective. If it feels right, until then, I felt as if I should say this. I still want to make music and perform music. It just won't sound like what you may expect. He said, I mentioned earlier that I have actively been working on music for the last few years. So I've collaborated on some of that for anyone who is still reading and interested. First up, I've been collaborating on a hip-hop project with Armani Rain for quite some time now. We wrote so many songs that we finished an album last year. When it was time to release it, we decided it wasn't good enough. So we went back to the drawing board, picked our favorites, and then wrote even more music to round out the album. At the end of the day, we found ourselves sitting on about 25 songs. Our plan is to release a handful as an album and then the rest as a B-sides released shortly after. The album is officially finished now, and we're working on artwork, videos, and final masters. I'll keep people posted on the progress, but please know that it's not too far off, and we're both very proud of it. Next up, UFO, my favorite collaborative partner. He and I have written a ton of music over the last few years. This letter is long. I'm gonna let y'all guys read the rest of this letter. Okay, long. And the clock is ticking. So anyway, that was Bro Safari basically giving you the rundown of what he's been going through mentally in his mind. That obviously nobody really knew, but he's sitting it out there. After he had talked to the therapist. So yes, but anyway, let me know what you think about Bro Safari's situation. And how do you feel that you would fare in this industry? Do you feel it'll be the best thing of your life, or do you understand what these artists are going through? Because this is not a uncommon case. This is common. A lot of artists are taken advantage of. They sign these contracts. They become workforces, overworked, just to try to make that money for the industry. And they had no real life outside of it. And when there's no balance of like fun, relaxation, a vacation, some sort of balance in a way, even though there's no such thing as really a work-life balance. You go off the deep end. You start trying to find ways in between for which you can escape. And unfortunately, drugs is so easy and too easy to come across in the industry. You know, it unfortunately did end Avicii, who was going through the same situation that Bro Safari did. Hopefully, Bro Safari will not come to an end himself like Avicii did, and he'll be able to turn the boat around. So thank you so much for being here today. My name is Peyton 3.0. The EDM and drum step vocalist Zombie Supreme, the god, the queen, the empress, the emperor of EDM. Thank you so much. Song in the background is called Turn Up. You can hear that on my SoundCloud if you're interested in the electro house sound. I recorded this 4 years ago, and it's also a music video to this. Yes, like, share, all of that, subscribe. Make sure you comment in the comment section, because this is not Hulu. What is it? This is social media. This ain't Netflix, okay? Comment below. Let's have a discussion. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to get to these call to actions. I'm not even going to go through this. I need you to do all of this. Get on that email list too, okay, by getting those free unreleased songs. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Peyton 3.0's EDM World News. Bye-bye now.